Hi, I'm Phil Grande at philsgang.com. You know, this last 1,900-point drop in the stock market scared everybody. They called it a crash. But here at Phil's Gang, we call it an opportunity. Why? Because I taught my students how to read a chart. And here's the problem in this industry. You go somewhere to learn how to drive a car, but you never go anywhere to learn how to invest in a stock. Well, you'll do that here at Phil's Gang. Join my gang. philsgang.com, the best teaching format in the country when it comes to stocks.
Go to philsgang.com or give us a call at 877-600-4264.
Hi, I'm Phil Grande at philsgang.com, Phil's Gang Radio Show. You know, we just went through a 1,900-point stock market drop, fastest drop ever in 2 days. Most of you panicked. At Phil's Gang, we didn't look at it as a crash. We looked at it as an opportunity because we were short. Why? Because I was able to teach my students how to read a chart, so in advance, they would know that the market was going to go down. It's all about learning. It's always amazed me, our whole life. Someone teaches us to play baseball. Someone teaches us to ski. Someone teaches us how to drive a car. But there's nobody there to teach you how to invest in a stock. And that's where I come. I think I have the best teaching format in the country. Check it out. It's philsgang.com. So you'll be so comfortable. You don't care if the market's going down or the market's going up. Join my gang, philsgang.com.
For more information, go to philsgang.com or give us a call at 877-600-GANG. 877-600-4264. 877-600-4264.
St. Jude is amazing. A family member said, well, if you go to St. Jude, you don't have to pay anything. And I didn't believe it. They take care of our housing. They take care of our food. In addition to the best medical treatment that my daughter could ever have. So it allows me to focus on my daughter and getting her better.
The stocks discussed on Phil's Gang are not in any way a recommendation or solicitation to buy, sell, or hold. If considering acting on information presented, we first recommend you seek out a competent, licensed professional for advice. Get ready for the radio show that tells you what Wall Street doesn't want you to know.
Oh, I'm a money magnet. Money's coming to me. Money sets me free. I'm a money magnet. Money's coming to me.
It's your daily dose of how to manage your money. And now it's time for Phil's Gang on the Off the Wall Street Radio Network. With your host, Phil Grande.
11 hours, millions and millions of dollars of investigations. I think most Americans would say if that's all you've got, big win for Hillary Clinton.
Big win for Hillary Clinton? I don't see that. Welcome to Phil's Gang. Coast to coast around the country, off the Wall Street Radio Network. It is Friday. Big win for Hillary Clinton? I don't see it. But before we get into that, the stock market is up another 172 points today after being up 300 points yesterday. What is going on? In fact, the stock market, after it dropped 1,900 points in August in 3 days, after 41 days, all the way back up again. So we went down in 3 days, 1,900 points, took 41 days to get back up. Get that 1,900 points back, which brings me to my point. Why aren't you a gang member and learn how to short a stock? So when a stock goes down, you make money so much quicker than on the way back up. It's incredible. 3 days, $1,900 point drop, 41 days back up. So what's going on in the last 2 days? This is crazy. Market just keeps going up. Well, the problem we're having is all this quantitative easing. We're getting interference again in the market. First, we have yesterday, Europe announced, hey, we're going to do more quantitative easing. We're going to lower interest rates again. We're going to buy bonds to stimulate the economy. Bang, we go up 300 points. Today, China comes out. Same thing. Hey, we're going to stimulate the economy. We're going to lower rates again. Be the sixth time they've lowered rates since November of last year. Market goes up again. Well, why does our market go up? Well, nobody wants to buy emerging markets like Brazil. Nobody wants to buy European stocks. So they think, hey, let's buy the cleanest shirt in the dirty laundry. America. America. So they come over here and they buy stocks. But there's a problem. When they dump their euros to buy our U.S. stocks, remember, they can't buy stocks or bonds with euros. They got to do what? They got to get dollars. They have to dump their euros and buy the dollars. And when they buy the dollars, they buy the stocks. And so we have this big rally in the stock market going. Both the dollar is going up, which is very bad for companies, and stocks are going up. So you got stocks of companies going up, and you got the dollar going up, which is supposed to be bad for companies, which means this rally is not sustainable, which means they may have to bring in QE4 even faster than we thought. We know one thing, they're never going to raise rates. They can't. It was the biggest lie ever. Biggest lie ever. Why? Because corporations are borrowing so much money because it's so cheap. They're up to their neck in borrowed money. Because it was cheap. It's kind of like the guy, he goes out to dinner, and because you ever see anybody go to a restaurant and they go to those bars, food bars, how they pile the food on? I mean, it's all you can eat. And I mean, it's amazing to watch how some of these people pile food on and the systems they have. They can get the pickle in just right to get 2 more pickles on this side, and they get the cottage cheese just right. I mean, they're like contractors. They're like home. They come to the food bar with a blueprint. I've never seen. I mean, they pile this thing up like 5 feet high. It doesn't fall off the plate. How do they do that? It's the same thing. Then they go eat it, gouge themselves, and they're bloated and they're lethargic and they fall asleep. It's the same thing with companies. Companies got so bloated with debt. You know that the S&P corporations paid in the last year $120 billion in interest payments? Are you kidding? And that eats into earnings growth. You got to have earnings growth for stocks to sustain themselves when they go up, to stay up. You can't have stocks sustaining themselves when you don't have earnings growth. So our stocks aren't going up because of earnings growth. There's the problem. That's why it's not sustainable. You don't have earnings growth because the $120 billion in interest payments these corporations paid last year are eating into the earnings growth. And then you have another problem. The strong dollar. Because everybody in Europe is buying the dollar because they can't buy stocks or bonds with euros, the dollar's going up. And therefore, when the dollar goes up, it eats earnings. It eats profits because 70% of the profits that companies make come from Europe. And when the dollar is strong, they don't make profits in Europe like they used to. They can't compete in Europe. So their profits go down. So we got this whole stock market going up for the wrong reason. For the wrong reason. We even have what they call these crossovers, death crosses, which tells you, identifies for you, the momentum of purchasing of stocks are going south, but the market's going north. In other words, the market's going up when it shouldn't be going up. But what do? Stand back and just let it go up? Of course not. You have a great opportunity to get into the market if you know what you're doing. But if you're using some advisor or planner, he will never be able to tell you when to get out when it does correct. You will get that with me. My gang will always be ahead of it. When it starts to correct, we'll know well in advance. We'll already start positioning ourselves for correction. And when it does correct, we'll be short. And as I said, think about it. The stock market went down 1,900 points in 3 days, and it took 41 days to get back up. So you want to be short stocks. But right now, what's amazing is to watch the stock market go up, and we're doing terrific. And we're going to go over the Phil's Gang, 5 stocks. Remember what I told you. You become a gang member, and then you're going to invest in the same 5 stocks all year. And I coach you through them. Schlumberger, Intel, Goldman Sachs, Caterpillar. What is wrong with that? And IBM. The same 5 stocks. This way, you're not confused. You don't. People have too many stocks. First of all, then they have to go hire somebody to manage them for them. That's why you're never going to make any money. So we're doing very well. And Schlumberger, 18%. Intel, 20%. Let's cut those in half. Let's cut them in half. Let's say we screwed up and got in late. What's wrong with a 10%, 9% return? When's the last time you got an 8 or 9, 10% return on your money? Goldman Sachs, 8%. Cut it in half, 4%. What's wrong with that? So, join the gang, Phil's gang. Let me give you the number, 877-600-GANG. That's 877-600-GANG, so you can get on the right side of this stock market. So today, they announced more stimulus in China. 6th time since last November that they have said they're going to lower rates. Now, what does that tell you? It tells you the economy is doing very, very poorly. And then yesterday, the European central bank comes out and says, hey, we're doing QE. We're going to lower rates and we're going to buy our own bonds to help push our economy. Oil is at a 6-year low. Metals, gold, copper at a 41% low. 41% drop in the last 5 years. Unbelievable. We'll talk more about our economy and our stocks. Join the gang. And we're also going to take a look at Benghazi.
Want more information on this show? Go to philsgang.com or give them a call at 877-600-GANG.
From the perspective of the U.S. economy, I think we've seen continuing signs of strength.
Continuing signs of strength? What are you, nuts? Household spending dropped to its lowest level since 2008. Retail sales dropped to its lowest level in 9 years. Wages to its lowest level in 30 years. Disposable income to its lowest level in 40 years. Home ownership to its lowest level in 30 years. What's he talking about? That's Jack Lew, our Treasury Secretary. We can't trust anything that comes out of Washington or Wall Street. And that's why I want you to join Phil's gang. My name is Phil Grande of philsgang.com. Well, the reason you stay away from the stock market because you're fearful, because no one has taught you how to invest. You go to school to learn how to do math. You go to school to learn how to drive. Why don't you go to school to learn how to invest using charts? Join my gang, philsgang.com, the best teaching format in the country when it comes to stocks.
For more information, go to philsgang.com or give us a call at 877-600-GANG. 877-600-4264.
From the perspective of the U.S. economy, I think we've seen continuing signs of strength.
Continuing signs of strength? What are you, nuts? Household spending dropped to its lowest level since 2008. Retail sales dropped to its lowest level in 9 years. Wages to its lowest level in 30 years. Disposable income to its lowest level in 40 years. Home ownership to its lowest level in 30 years. What's he talking about? That's Jack Lew, our Treasury Secretary. We can't trust anything that comes out of Washington or Wall Street. And that's why I want you to join Phil's gang. My name is Phil Grande of philsgang.com. Well, the reason you stay away from the stock market because you're fearful, because no one has taught you how to invest. You go to school to learn how to do math. You go to school to learn how to drive. Why don't you go to school to learn how to invest using charts? Join my gang, philsgang.com, the best teaching format in the country when it comes to stocks.
For more information, go to philsgang.com or give us a call at 877-600-GANG. 877-600-4264.
Be sure to watch the Phil's Gang Show with Phil Grande, weekdays at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on various devices like smartphones, tablets, your computer, and more. Get free access to the Phil's Gang Show right in your hands at home or on the go. Simply go to philsgang.com. That's philsgang.com and click on the Listen Live link. And we'll see you on the charts.
Middle class economics works.
Works? Where? Show me where it works. You tell us the unemployment rate is 5.1%, and you only get to 5.1% by making sure people don't have a job. Think of August. August, the unemployment rate went down to 5.1% because 200,000 people couldn't find a job. If they found a job, our unemployment rate would be at 10%. Isn't this amazing? Hi, I'm Phil Grande of philsgang.com. Aren't you sick of this stuff? Aren't you sick of these politicians? They keep lying to us. And you know, Wall Street does too. And how many times have you said, boy, I hate Wall Street. I hate the stock market. But that's the best place in the world to make money. But you need a lesson. You need a lesson on how to invest. That's where I come in. Join my gang, philsgang.com. It's the best teaching format in the country when you want to learn how to invest in stocks. philsgang.com.
For more information, go to philsgang.com or give us a call at 877-600-GANG. 877-600-4264.
AMVA, and I've lost over 30K on it, but it had excellent earnings the last several quarters, and if they make the cameras and drone equipment, I don't know why it's so weak these days.
It's so weak these days because you don't pay attention to what they make. You don't care about their earnings. The problem is the institutions are pulling their money out, and that's all you need to know, and that's what we identify in the chart, and that's why I become a Phil's Gang member.
Go to philsgang.com or give us a call at 877-600-4264. At philsgang.com, we promote core technicals and chart analysis that enables each Phil's Gang member to be the best investor they can be. At philsgang.com, stock investing is defined in detail by the Phil's Gang standards. Working together, we achieve our goals and ultimately provide a truly unique profit-taking experience for our members. This is what philsgang.com does, and no one does it better than the off-the-Wall Street maverick, Phil Grande. For over 15 years, Phil coaches and teaches that stock investing diversity goes beyond fundamentals and stories. We believe that amazing things happen when people invest in themselves by following Phil's format and recommendations. At philsgang.com, we believe in the desire to embrace, build, and deliver on our core values and promises. And for over 15 years, Phil Grande has delivered on that promise. For more information, go to philsgang.com or give us a call at 877-600-GANG. That's 877-600-4264. Welcome back to the Phil's Gang Radio Show. Want to know more about Phil's Gang? Go to philsgang.com or give us a call at 877-600-GANG. 877-600-4264. Stock Corner is brought to you by the Phil's Gang video channel. Go to philsgang.com, click on the video channel graphic, and check out Phil's free videos on the market, economy, and current events.
And welcome back to Phil's Gang. I'm going to take a look at the stock market. It's up again today, another 163 points after being up 300 points yesterday, all due to the interference by the, let's say, the opposite of our Federal Reserve, okay? The banks, the federal bank with the banks, the ECB is one in Europe, and then of course you got your China Central Bank, and you got your European Central Bank, which is ECB. That's just like ours. They rig the markets to the upside, which is nothing wrong with that. See, there's nothing wrong with rigging markets up. You know, we have not had a 10% correction since November of 2011. You know that? Think of what you missed. Think of what you missed. That's how they've been rigging this market. And that's okay. I'd rather be in a rigged market where everybody's rigging it to go up. All you need to know is when to get out. That's the problem. That's the problem. The 401k, number one, that was never meant to be a mainstream pension plan. It was never meant for that. Never meant to be for your retirement. Because first of all, it's a voluntary program. Okay? And secondly, that it was really an experiment. And the experiment has failed. They cost too much. Because employers, they pass along most of the cost to you. So, and no one is there to manage that 401k to say to you, hey, call you up, it's time, we're up 30% for the year, we got to get out before the market goes down. That's not what they do. That's not their job. And how many times have you called and said, as the market starts crashing, what do I do? And they say, well, stay in. That's crazy. What we do is we stay with the same 5 stocks all year. Let's go through them right now. Schlumberger. Now, I like Schlumberger because Schlumberger is an oil service stock, and it's better than I think all the other oil service stocks because this one is global. The other oil service stocks are global, but not as much. and they have to rely on a lot of the revenues that come here from the United States. But Schlumberger, we have an 18% gain. Now this stock, we stay in this same stock all year. Remember now, we made money shorting the stock before we got this 18% gain. Don't forget. I'll give you the number. We started to short the stock at $94. Went down to $66. 94 to 66. What is wrong with that? That's quite a drop. So that's probably about a 30% drop. So let's cut it in half. Let's say we screwed up. So we had the ability to make money when the Schlumberger, when the institutions pulled out and it went down 30%. So let's cut it in half. Say we only made 15%. Let's cut it. Let's cut it again. Let's say we only made 10%. Let's really be conservative. So that was at $66. Went down to 66. We got back in the stock at $74. It turned green. Today the stock is at 79. Now what's wrong with that? We're already up 6%. So let's be conservative and say we had a 10% correction, which is ridiculous, but that's what we'll say. So we made 10% on the way down. We're already up 6% on the way up. What is wrong with that? That's what you do when you're a gang member. I coach you. I bring you through it. It's the same 5 stocks every day. Intel, another one of our stocks. It's such an advantage just to stay with the same 5 stocks. Now, Intel, the stock, we're already up 20%. But before we went up 20, let's cut it in half, 10%. 10%. Let's be really conservative, 10%. But before we went up 10%, remember, it dropped from $33 down to $25. 33 to 25. Now, that's quite a drop. That's probably about a 24% drop. So let's see. So it dropped 24%. So we were short, making money on the way down. But let's say we made 24%. Let's say we made 10%. How's that? Let's be really conservative. 10% on the way down. And now on the way up, Intel, we're already up 20%. Let's cut that in half. Say we're up 10%. Just take those 2 out of the 5. And here's the beautiful thing. Out of your 5 stocks, if 2 of them go bad, you keep losses so small. We make sure the losses stay small so that we can cover them very quickly. So join my gang. This is what to do. Go to philsgang.com. Let me give you the number so you can call 877-600-GANG. All right, so here we got the stock market. It's rallying because of China, because of Europe, because the central banks kicked in and they said, hey, we're going to stimulate our countries and we're going to get the economy going. Think about the economy, the worldwide economy, why they had to do this. Oil has been down 6 years. 6 years. In 6 years, oil's dropped 70%. I'm talking about oil stocks have dropped 70% in 6 years. Gold stocks in the last 5 years have dropped 41%. Gold mining stocks in the last 6 years have dropped 76%. So 70%, 40%, 76% drops. That tells you how weak this economy is. That tells you how weak this economy is. But the jibber jabbers on CNBC are telling you another story when you listen to them. They're telling you, oh, the reason why we're doing so well and the reason why the market's up is because of the economy is doing so well. And we have economic growth. And we have revenues. And we have... It's not true. If our economy was doing so well, why would copper and gold and silver and oil all be down? When the economy's doing good, those go up, not down. We have a huge slump in manufacturing, industrial production, household spending, disposable income, all of that. There's no earnings growth, but the stock market's going up. No earnings growth. You've got to have earnings growth, but you can't have earnings growth when companies are borrowing up to their neck. And that's why they'll never raise rates. That's why you got to join the gang. Phil's Gang. Be right back after this break.
Want more information on this show? Go to philsgang.com or give them a call at 877-600-GANG.
Hi, I'm Phil Grande of Phil's Gang. You know, on May 29th, I warned that a stock market crash was coming. I also warned in July. Both times, I was watching my technology, my PT2 chart, and it turned from green to red. Both in May and July, we had substantial warnings. We saw the industrials fall. We saw that the market, the Chinese market was falling, was getting worse. Oil was falling. Copper was falling. Everything was falling. But again, CNBC was telling you, hey, things are cheap. Diversify. Everything's wonderful. But my chart was giving me something different. And on both those occasions, both in May and July, I told my gang, let's short the stock market now, because my PT2 chart indicated a sell-off was coming in. And we did. And we had a wonderful ride all the way down. Join my gang, Phil's Gang.
For more information, go to philsgang.com or give us a call at 877-600-GANG. 877-600-4264.
Hi, I'm Phil Grande, philsgang.com, Phil's Gang Radio Show. You know, we just went through a 1,900-point stock market drop, fastest drop ever in 2 days. Most of you panicked. At Phil's Gang, we didn't look at it as a crash. We looked at it as an opportunity because we were short. Why? Because I was able to teach my students how to read a chart, so in advance, they would know that the market was going to go down. It's all about learning. It's always amazed me, our whole life, someone teaches us to play baseball, someone teaches us to ski, someone teaches us how to drive a car. But there's nobody there to teach you how to invest in a stock. And that's where I come. I think I have the best teaching format in the country. Check it out. It's philsgang.com. So you'll be so comfortable. You don't care if the market's going down or the market's going up. Join my gang, philsgang.com.
For more information, go to philsgang.com or give us a call at 877-600-GANG. 877-600-4264. 877-600-4264.
Hi, I'm Phil Grande, philsgang.com, Phil's Gang Radio Show. You know, we just went through a 1,900-point stock market drop, fastest drop ever in 2 days. Most of you panicked. At Phil's Gang, we didn't look at it as a crash. We looked at it as an opportunity because we were short. Why? Because I was able to teach my students how to read a chart, so in advance, they would know that the market was going to go down. It's all about learning. It's always amazed me, our whole life, someone teaches us to play baseball, someone teaches us to ski, someone teaches us how to drive a car. But there's nobody there to teach you how to invest in a stock. And that's where I come. I think I have the best teaching format in the country. Check it out. It's philsgang.com. So you'll be so comfortable. You don't care if the market's going down or the market's going up. Join my gang, philsgang.com.
For more information, go to philsgang.com or give us a call at 877-600-GANG. 877-600-4264. 877-600-4264. There is only one talk show host, Phil Grande, who delivers both social and financial talk. Not even Hannity or Rush can deliver a 1-2 punch like that. That's Phil Grande, philsgang.com. Phil Grande is unique, the industry leader, the first talk show host ever to combine social issues and finance into winning stock market ideas. That's Phil Grande, philsgang.com. That's philsgang.com.
From the perspective of the U.S. economy, I think we've seen continuing signs of strength.
Continuing signs of strength? What are you, nuts? Household spending dropped to its lowest level since 2008. Retail sales dropped to its lowest level in 9 years. Wages to its lowest level in 30 years. Disposable income to its lowest level in 40 years. Home ownership to its lowest level in 30 years. What's he talking about? That's Jack Lew, our Treasury Secretary. We can't trust anything that comes out of Washington or Wall Street. And that's why I want you to join Phil's Gang. My name is Phil Grande of philsgang.com. Well, the reason you stay away from the stock market because you're fearful, because no one has taught you how to invest. You go to school to learn how to do math. You go to school to learn how to drive. Why don't you go to school to learn how to invest using charts? Join my gang, philsgang.com, the best teaching format in the country when it comes to stocks.
For more information, go to philsgang.com or give us a call at 877-600-GANG. 877-600-4264. What is Phil's Gang? Phil'sGang.com is a subscription website service that host Phil Grande has been teaching and providing daily stock investment recommendations for over 15 years, all in the name of making its customers educated investors and helping the kids at St. Jude's Children's Hospital. If you want to take charge of your financial future, then do not wait any longer. For only $49.95, become a Phil's Gang member today. Go to Phil'sGang.com or call 877-600-GANG. That's 877-600-4264. Welcome back to the Phil's Gang Show. This segment is brought to you by Phil'sGang.com.
Welcome back to Phil's Gang. Okay. Join my gang. Here's the number, 877-600-GANG. We're talking about this wonderful rally we're having, that you should be in on this rally, but you got to know when it's going to give it up. And it will. It can't sustain itself because it's going up for the wrong reasons. The jibber jabbers are pretending, these jibber jabbers on CNBC. The rally in the last 2 days, in fact, in the last 41 days, is due to improving fundamentals in our economy. What a bunch of horse manure that is. Are you nuts? They say the reason why we're having this big rally is because of our earnings growth. It's improving. Not true. We have very little earnings growth. We have very little earnings growth because corporations are saddled with so much debt because they are pigs because of very low interest rates. In the last 12 months, they paid almost $129 billion in interest alone. That eats into their earnings, and why you can't get earnings growth. Are you kidding me? The strong dollar is eating into earnings growth. The dollar's up 19% since June 2014, which is a headwind for earnings growth because 70% of our U.S. corporations, their revenues come from overseas sales, and they can't sell stuff overseas when the dollar is strong. They can't compete. Therefore, we don't have earnings growth from overseas. We don't have earnings growth because of the terrible interest that these companies are paying, even though it's low. So there's very little to speak of in the way of earnings growth. 1.7% it's grown over the last year. What are you, nuts? And our third quarter is declined. CNBC's telling us it's increased. It's declined by 5%, our earnings growth. But our stock market is going up. So is that good, bad? No. It's great that it's going up. All you got to know is when to get out. But the poor folks that are in 401ks, $4 trillion you people put in 401ks into a fraud. It's never been designed as a retirement plan. It's a fraud. It's never been $4 trillion. You should be in your own individual stocks if you know what you're doing. So why don't you join me with my 5 stocks? Here's another fraud. Listen to this. This made me sick.
11 hours, millions and millions of dollars of investigations. I think most Americans would say if that's all you've got, big win for Hillary Clinton.
What do you mean a big win for Hillary Clinton? Where's the win? Are you kidding me? Here, listen to what Cummings says. This is our friend, our Democrat liberal Eliza Cummings, one of the worst human beings in the world.
We're better than using taxpayer dollars to try to destroy a campaign. That's not what America is all about.
That's not what America's about, Representative Cummings. I'll tell you what America is about, Representative Cummings. First of all, you're a terrible human being. But let me tell you what America is all about. It's about electing a president who has integrity and knows how to tell the truth, no matter the consequences. You see, that's what it's about. See, the American people think like me. It was worth the $4 million that you, Representative Cummings, voted to spend, and you approved spending $4 million of taxpayer money on a study to determine why lesbians and are obese and gay men are not. You voted to approve $4 million for that study. And you're worried about the $4 million we spent to find out what kind of woman this woman is, that Hillary is? And part of the $4 million was to develop the first of the kind anal condom. $4 million is what we spent on how to develop the first of its kind an anal condom, and this study why lesbians are obese and gay men are not. And he's saying that's okay. This lousy human being Cummings says that was fine to spend $4 million on that crap, but not $4 million to find out what Clinton's all about. To spend $4 million to finally get the answer that I want, and I'm sure you wanted, what we're looking for as to Clinton, who's seeking the highest office in the land, the presidency, to identify if she was just incompetent when it came to handling Benghazi, or she was a flat-out liar. She was a flat-out liar. It was worth it. I think it was worth spending $4 million to finally get that answer. We now know that she was a liar and a fraud. And so was Rice, and so was Obama when they said it was the video that caused the riots, that killed the 4 Americans. When we know now that's not the truth. We know now, following the September 11, 2012 attack in Benghazi, and just 8 weeks before the election, Obama went on Late Show, September 18, 2012, to lie about the attacks being caused by a video. And then he and Hillary sent around Rice on all the Sunday shows.
There's no evidence for a video-inspired protest. Then where'd the false narrative start?
What sparked the recent violence was the airing on the internet of a very hateful, very offensive video that has offended many people around the world.
As offensive as this video was, and obviously we've denounced it, and the United States government had nothing to do with it, that's never an excuse for violence.
You're looking at an email you sent to your family. Here's what you said. At 11 o'clock that night, approximately 1 hour after you told the American people it was a video, you say to your family, 2 officers were killed today in Benghazi by an Al-Qaeda-like group. And most significantly, the next day, within 24 hours, you had a conversation with the Egyptian Prime Minister. You told him this: we know the attack in Libya had nothing to do with the film. It was a planned attack, not a protest.
And Hillary Clinton met with the relatives of the Navy SEALs that got killed and told them it was the video. Lied and told them it was the video. Here, when Jordan asked the question, it shows he's got the evidence. She knew that day it wasn't the video, and she emailed her family, and they got the video, they got the email right there. She lied. So tell me, do you think it was worth spending $4 million to find out what kind of person Hillary Clinton really is? Now, wait a minute. She shouldn't serve any office. I wish, because if we put her in, it's going to cost us more than $4 million. If we didn't find out about this, it would cost us more than $4 million. Look. Oh, we could have only wished that we had the same opportunity to spend $4 million to find out about Obama before we put him into office. That he was a liar. Imagine how much we would have saved if we spent $4 million to find out what kind of man this president was, Obama, before we elected him, put him in office. We sure would have saved more than $4 million just in the increased overhead cost of Obamacare that cost us more than $270 billion. Which represents, remember, increases in Obamacare premiums for each person of $1,375 a year, when we were told by Obama the premiums were going to go down. So let me ask you, if we spent $4 million to find out that we now know that Obama is a liar, just like Hillary's a liar, if we spent that $4 million, guess what? He would have never been president, and we would have saved, just in the increased overhead on Obamacare, $270 billion, which you and I and our premiums have to pay $1,375 extra a year for. So tell me, Do you think the $4 million was worth it? Or do you think the $4 million was better spent that when Cummings approved the $4 million to determine why lesbians are obese and gay men are not, and to develop the first of its kind anal condom? Are you kidding me?
Want more information on this show? Go to philsgang.com or give them a call at 877-600-GANG.
Middle-class economics works.
Works? Where? Show me where it works. You tell us the unemployment rate is 5.1%, and you only get to 5.1% by making sure people don't have a job. Think of August. August, the unemployment rate went down to 5.1% because 200,000 people couldn't find a job. If they found a job, our unemployment rate would be at 10%. Isn't this amazing? Hi, I'm Phil Grande of philsgang.com. Aren't you sick of this stuff? Aren't you sick of these politicians? They keep lying to us. You know, Wall Street does too. And how many times have you said, boy, I hate Wall Street. I hate the stock market. But that's the best place in the world to make money. But you need a lesson. You need a lesson on how to invest. That's where I come in. Join my gang, philsgang.com. It's the best teaching format in the country when you want to learn how to invest in stocks. philsgang.com.
For more information, go to philsgang.com or give us a call at 877-600-GANG. 877-600-4264.
Our economy has been moving.
Yeah, in the wrong direction. This is the same guy that told us we could keep our doctor and we could keep our health insurance. Hi, I'm Phil Grande, philsgang.com. Look, I have the best teaching format in the country when it comes to learning how to invest in stocks. People will tell you that. Look, we can't listen to Wall Street. We can't listen to our government. We listen to our charts. That's why you join philsgang.com. Food stamps have exceeded 45 million for 50 straight months. And he's telling us things are good. What are you, nuts?
Go to philsgang.com or give us a call at 877-600-4264. At philsgang.com, we promote core technicals and chart analysis that enables each Philsgang member to be the best investor they can be. At philsgang.com, stock investing is defined in detail by the Philsgang standards. Working together, we achieve our goals and ultimately provide a truly unique profit-taking experience for our members. This is what philsgang.com does, and no one does it better than the off-the-Wall Street maverick, Phil Grande. For over 15 years, Phil coaches and teaches that stock investing diversity goes beyond fundamentals and stories. We believe that amazing things happen when people invest in themselves by following Phil's format and recommendations. At philsgang.com, we believe in the desire to embrace, build, and deliver on our core values and promises. And for over 15 years, Phil Grande has delivered on that promise. For more information, go to philsgang.com or give us a call at 877-600-GANG. That's 877-600-4264.
Hi, I'm Phil Grande of Phil's Gang. You know, everybody's been panicked about the crash. You've been told by CNBC there wasn't going to be a crash. The stocks were cheap. I've been telling you just the opposite. I've been telling you that going all the way back to June 2014. And then again, 2015, both May and July, and I said to start shorting. And if you were a gang member, you'd be pretty happy right now. Join my gang, learn how to short.
For more information, go to philsgang.com or give us a call at 877-600-GANG.
Hi, I'm Phil Grande of Phil's Gang. You know, on May 29th, I warned that a stock market crash was coming. I also warned in July. Both times, I was watching my technology, my PT2 chart, and it turned from green to red. Both in May and July, we had substantial warnings. We saw the industrials fall. We saw that the market, the Chinese market was falling, was getting worse. Oil was falling. Copper was falling. Everything was falling. But again, CNBC was telling you, hey, things are cheap, diversify, everything's wonderful. But my chart was giving me something different. And on both those occasions, both in May and July, I told my gang, let's short the stock market now, because my PT2 chart indicated a sell-off was coming in. And we did. And we had a wonderful ride all the way down. Join my gang, Phil's Gang.
For more information, go to philsgang.com or give us a call at 877-600-GANG. 877-600-4264. Welcome back to the Phil's Gang Show. This segment is brought to you by philsgang.com.
And welcome back to Phil's Gang. The market looks like it's going to close up 166 points for my gang members. Please take profits into this rally, especially Schlumberger, we're up over 18%. Let's cut it in half, say 9%, be conservative. Intel, 20%, cut that in half, 10%. Goldman Sachs, 5%. Caterpillar, 8%. So let's just take some profits. All right, my gang members. All right. Now, here's what's going on. As I said, I just wish if they're going to put all these laws on us, why don't they put a good law in? Some fiduciary law. But they'll never do a fiduciary law. You'll never get a fiduciary law on Wall Street. So why doesn't Congress require every kid that's in high school as a freshman, he's got to have basic, the colleges or the high schools got to start teaching them the basic knowledge of stocks, of compound interest, how to invest in a stock, how to manage debt, instead of all these other stupid classes they give them. We should start in high school with our kids as freshmen. Teach them how to count change, how to communicate with somebody on the phone. Not yep. Is your dad there? Yeah. Is your mom there? Yeah. I mean, unbelievable. So let's talk about the stocks. We've got a few minutes left. I want you to join my gang. I want you to let me help you as I help thousands of other people. It's only $49.95 a month. We say with the same top 5 stocks to help you. So you learn what they call pattern recognition. So every day we're working those stocks. So you don't have to worry. You don't have to worry about what stock you should be in. They're right there. And every day you know exactly what we're making in that stock. It's a really neat way of doing it. But let's talk about this rally. So everybody, when you hear the jibber jabbers talking about this big rally we've had now, okay, remember we went back up we got gained back to 1,900 points that this market dropped. Took 41 days to gain it back, 3 days to drop. But here's the point. The market should have never gone up, but it's rigged to the upside. We haven't had a 10% drop in this market since 2011. I don't understand why you wouldn't want to be in a market like that. Now, here's why stocks are rallying and why you got to know when to get out. And that's why people join the gang. They'll never get caught. They'll never again lose money. Say, oh my God, it went down. I didn't get out in time. That'll never happen to you again. When the European central banks announced more QE yesterday, investors rushed, to buy stocks, but they didn't buy European stocks. They don't want to buy European stocks, and they didn't want to buy emerging stocks like Brazil. They used to. No. Instead, they come right to the United States. Same with today, when they announced that China was going to drop rates again because the world economies are in big trouble. That's why they'll never raise rates. So what they're doing is they're trying to prop up the economies. And that's a good thing because we can make money. It's not good for the economy, but it's good for us. So here's what they do. So they all jump in and they buy stocks and bonds in the United States, the Europeans. But to do that, they got to get rid of their euros. They got to exchange for dollars because you can't buy stocks or bonds unless you buy with dollars. Here's the problem. When you do that, the dollar is going up. Now, stocks went up the same time because they exchanged their euro for dollar. They bought the stocks, both going up the same time. CNBC will sit there and lie to you and tell you this is a good thing. I'm telling you the truth. It's not. See, stocks go up when the dollar goes down. You want the dollar going down, not up. Because stocks go up on what? Earnings. Earnings. You have sell something. That's called the revenues. You got to have sales. Your sales have got to grow. You pay all your expenses, and then you have earnings. And you want the earnings to grow. But we're not getting any earnings growth. So how are they getting the stocks up? Through this QE nonsense. So here's the thing, though. So we got the stock market going up. We got the dollar going up at the same time. It can't sustain itself. That rally we're having can't sustain itself. Because once the buying is over, the stock is going to come back down because it went up for the wrong reason. It went up for the wrong reason because it didn't go up because of earnings growth. And here's why companies can't have earnings growth, because they have too much debt. And in the last 12 months, even with almost no interest rate, just low interest rates, they had to pay $120 billion. That eats into the earnings of your company, your growth. And then you can't get earnings when the dollar's going up. It cuts into your profits, because when the dollar goes up, you can't make money over in Europe. We can't compete over in Europe. So we got two headwinds. We got over in Europe, we got the dollar going up. That's playing against us. We can't get 70% of our companies, or 70% of the profits for our large companies come from Europe. It's not happening because the dollar's too strong. And we can't get good earnings growth to move the stocks up because we're paying too much interest on the debt. So they do it by cheating. So now as these stocks went up, when they stop, the investors are going to look around and go, wait a minute, the stocks didn't go up because of earnings. And oh my God, the stocks went up at the same time the dollar went up. That's not good, because when the dollar goes up, that means these companies, their earnings are going to go down and the stocks are going to drop. And then that's when you start buying it. That's when you start buying it on the next pullback. So do not chase this market, because anytime a stock goes up and the market goes up and the dollar goes up, please, this is free. That's a danger point. That's a warning. Okay? It doesn't work that way. See, you know, the lower the dollar goes, the stronger your stock gets, because the lower the dollar goes, that means they can compete in Europe. And all our big companies, I don't care if it's Hewlett-Packard, Microsoft, Johnson & Johnson, McDonald's, 70% of their profits come from overseas. But not if the dollar's going up. And that's the danger today, and yesterday with this 400-point, almost more than that. Let's see, 3, 4, almost a 500-point rally. Now, CNBC would be all giddy tonight, because they'll dupe you into thinking it was a good thing, and when it's not. So we're not getting earnings growth, and that's what a company is about. You got to sell something. That's called the revenues. You got to increase that top line revenues, cut your overhead so you have earnings, and you want it to grow every year. Not happening. So that's why the market is going up. And listen to this. This is amazing when you think about it. When you think about it, what's going on to prove that the world's economy, which we're one, is doing so poorly. That's why China said they're going to drop rates again for the 6th time. They can't get their economy going. If you got to drop your rates for 6 times in a row, does that sound like they got a good economy? No. And if we've been leaving our interest rates at 0 for 7 years, does that look like we got a good economy? No. But what do we hear from the jibber jabbers on CNBC? The economy is good. Labor is strong, which is all a lie. I just want you to remember this. When you have oil stocks at a 6-year low, they drop 70% from $30 to $9, 70%. Are you kidding? And then you have gold stocks dropping 41%. And you have gold mining stocks dropping 76%. This is bad. And then earnings growth have rose only 1.7% all year. And here we are in our third quarter. Earnings have declined in the third quarter, going down. But we've gone up 500 points. But our earnings growth has gone down 5%. So, and then you look on your chart, and you also see what we call momentum in the market. There's more people right now, the momentum in this market, more people are selling than buying contracts. But the market's going up. So you want to be part of it. I'm not here to tell you to find God, and we're going to march around Washington with signs saying the market's rigged. I want you to join the gang so you can make money on this fraud. It's been going on for 7 years. 7 years. So let the jibber jappers do all the spin on CNBC. Let them. We don't care. Join my gang, because when this market does break, whether it's next week, next year, You will never have to worry. We'll be on the right side of it. Join my gang over the weekend. Phil's Gang. See you on the charts.
You have been listening to Phil's Gang with your host, Phil Grande, on the Off the Wall Street Radio Network. Off the Wall Street Radio Network. Remember to visit Phil's website at philsgang.com. That's philsgang.com. Or call the office, 877-600-4264. That's 877-600-4264.
It's up to me.